And welcome back to the Astral Tourist. After attending a vibrant craft fair last weekend, I caught an irritating cold. If my voice sounds a bit off or odd, that's why. Thankfully, it's subsiding, but in the midst of it, I had some interesting fever dreams that I'm eager to share with you. They were vivid, strange, and offered some pretty neat insights. So let's turn up the heat. What are fever dreams anyway? Fever dreams are those wild, surreal experiences that happen when your body temperature rises during illness. During a fever, the brain creates intense, often bizarre dreams that blur the line between reality and fantasy. These dreams aren't just the product of physical illness. They serve as a doorway to the subconscious. When your body's in a state of imbalance, deeper parts of your mind may emerge, offering a chance for introspection and emotional release. So in a sense, fever dreams act as a bridge between your conscious thoughts and subconscious mind. Only it can take it to a whole new level. I should probably interject here that my fever was really not that bad, only like a degree or two above normal. So just so you know, I was never in any real danger or anything. This is just the usual amount of fever you get with a mild to a moderate cold. So earlier this week, just after it was setting in, I was drifting in and out of feverish sleep. I couldn't get quite comfortable enough to sleep deeply. A vision appeared in the void of my mind's eye at one point. It was a gleaming turquoise peacock statue, heavy and metallic. And when it first came in, I could sense the weight. And I wrote that down as if it was nothing, but it really was more like I want to say it felt like a slap in the face, but it wasn't like a slap. It was more like a rock coming right up into my third eye and being like, here I am, only it was metallic, and it was this peacock statue that was so beautiful. So I couldn't really be upset at it, because wow. And there was something about the peacock's presence that felt very reassuring. It radiated a quiet but powerful sense of calm amidst the fever's chaos. It didn't move. Again, it felt like the heavy weight of a rock. Like, whoa, here I am. It simply hung there in my mind's eye, just gleaming. In its stillness, it felt like a reminder that recovery was on the horizon, that I'm the rock, I'm the peacock, and that I was also being watched over at the same time. So there were all these different layers and feelings and everything along with that symbol. And I feel like there was more to it than just my subconscious, like a power animal vibe, totally. And I've seen peacocks before in meditations and in the astral. And my mind uses them a lot for reassurance, for energy. And there's more going on there too that I still have to figure out and work through. But that was my first one. So for this next one, I believe this happened the next night, not in the same night. I'm calling it Purple Fever. You'll hear why soon. So in another fever dream, I wandered through old gray rooms in a decaying house where rotting items turned dark blue and purple. Like this one could be a little bit of a Halloween episode maybe. Like all this gross stuff around, decomposing. The colors were unsettling, yet captivating at the same time. Like a mesmerizing kind of gross horror, I guess. Don't worry, I keep this channel really clean. That's as much as I'll say about what I saw as far as the details. But as I woke up, a flashing sign appeared in capital letters, and I could read it too. It said Purple Fever, all in capital letters. And it instantly reminded me of the violet flame, a symbol of spiritual transformation and healing, known for its ability to cleanse negative energies and promote renewal. And the purple fever sign felt like a direct message from my subconscious. The decaying imagery and intense purple hues seemed to symbolize something in my life ready for healing and transformation. And I'm like, yeah, that's me. Definitely me. Let's heal this cold fast. But it could have represented more as well. And the fever itself is a purification process. And I just felt even more urged to go beyond that, though, and release stagnant energies and embrace growth. So it was as if my mind itself was channeling the violet flame for me. Even though I was kind of sick and out of it and all of that, my mind was doing it for me. It's like purple fever is here, pushing me to undergo, the cleansing process, spiritually as well as physically. And here is the last one that really stood out to me, and I think it's the most epic one. So it took me back, this fever dream, took me back to an astral projection I had many years ago, in my early 20s, I believe, where I flew through the shoulders of the Sphinx and entered a surreal astral dimension. This world was a strange blend of the ancient and a mix of, let's say, the 1950s through the 1980s. Cars sped by on roads next to massive Egyptian symbols and architecture. Pyramids, only a few pyramids, but there were huge statues around, some of deities and whatnot. Others I couldn't even really make out what they were completely because I'd never seen anything like them before. And also, towering masked Egyptian beings walked through this space. And I'm thinking they're 20 feet tall, maybe 30 feet. And they weren't looking completely solid, but they were definitely there. And what was also really weird and eerie was that the regular-sized people, like myself, like the regular humans, didn't seem to notice them at all. So there were humans populating this space. Now, some statues in the environment definitely felt like guardians, like alive guardians. And I think I've talked about living statues in the astral plane before. And these were kind of like that. So these are like pre-programmed. I forget the word for it now, but there's a word for this. I can't remember it because I'm still a little bit sick here. Their eyes followed me closely as I floated by them. And I noticed this even back then. Even back in my early 20s, I knew about this. So I approached one of these statues on purpose, gazed into its dark eyes, and relayed to it the knowledge I had, showing it that I had entered through the Sphinx, the shoulders of the Sphinx. I showed it my progression and everything. I just felt a distinctly reassuring energy back from that statue, as if to confirm that I'm allowed to be in that area. I was allowed to be there. And at the time, I guess I just felt it was best to simply confirm my presence, because back then I'm still really trying to put my astral identity out there. And I just wanted to confirm and confirm and confirm again, over and over and over again. And so even then I was practicing just as hard as I do today. So for a while, I also tried talking to a man who was sitting on a bench along one of the roads, a human male. He looked like an older man, maybe in his 70s, I don't know. He didn't seem very lucid. And like everyone else, he was oblivious to the towering Egyptian beings walking around all around us. And there were a lot of these beings. I attempted to introduce myself in a gentle way to try to get him a little more lucid, and maybe he could tell me about himself or the area. But I remember he was just staring at me like he was trying to pay attention. He was listening, but he just wasn't sharing anything back. So I was pulled back to my physical body before I could attempt to get the attention of one of the enormous Egyptian beings there. I was working up my courage to try to communicate with one of them. And I hadn't quite got there yet. And remember, this is years ago. I wasn't nearly as straightforward as I am nowadays. Nowadays, I'd just be like, they would be the first one I would try, right? But back then, not as much. I was more cautious. I was just getting my bearings, exploring, especially places like ancient Egyptian dimensions and things. So I had held back, and I had held back too long. Now, this astral projection was something I thought I had completely forgotten, but my subconscious recalled it to me in vivid detail. So I didn't go back astral projecting again this time. I want to make that clear. I was dreaming about it in vivid detail, and I don't think my subconscious inserted anything that wasn't there in the astral projection originally. And I should say, it's also worth mentioning, I've been trying to remember my past ancient Egyptian astral projections since the whole Thoth invocation I did for the latest full moon. So I knew I had been to some of these dimensions. I've been trying to remember them. I had journaled about them at the time, but those records are now lost. I moved over the years and couldn't always take a lot of stuff with me and all that. So I've just been trying to bring some of these experiences back. And in the midst of my, a fever, my subconscious decided to hey, here's this that you've been trying to remember. So, at the time I had crossed into a blended sacred space where the boundaries of time and reality had really, I wrote down completely blurred, but I don't know if that's it. They were just there together, intermingling. So these fever dreams offered vivid insights into my subconscious, each one reflecting a deeper aspect of my current state. The turquoise peacock statue, so lovely, and I've seen that before, heavy with calm and stillness, served as a reminder that recovery was on the horizon, and I am improving, so yay. The purple fever dream with its decaying hues symbolized a time of spiritual and physical purification, urging me to release stagnant energies and embrace renewal. It's all a cycle, right? Without decomposition, we don't renew. So we do have to let things go to bring in the new. And that's important in transformation. And finally, I was overjoyed when my subconscious completely recounted a previous astral journey to an ancient Egyptian realm where I encountered towering beings in a sacred time, blurred, mixed dimensional space. So that's it for today's episode. Please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoyed it. Whether it's through fever dreams, astral projections, or just the strange pathways our minds wander around, the mysteries of the subconscious are always fascinating. If you've had any wild fever dreams of your own, I'd love to hear about them. Until next time, keep on dreaming and happy astral travels. Maybe I'll spot you in the next dimension.